Hello and welcome to Critical Viewing, Introduction to Film, Unit 1. First thing we want to do is we want to discuss why are films so popular. And essentially there's 5 main reasons that films are popular. The first one is that they're very easy to watch. You don't have to put out a tremendous amount of effort to be able to become engaged within a film. You pretty much just sit there and allow the film to be experienced. This is very different than reading a story. You get exhausted when you read. However, by watching a film, there's very little effort that you have to put into it. The second reason is that there's a sense of realism that appeals to audiences. The idea is that films actually work to incorporate more senses. So essentially, in order for us to experience a film, we have to engage more senses. And in doing so, the experience becomes real for us. And that's very appealing to audiences. Number 3, they have an enormous and immediate impact on our popular culture. So essentially, films are what we talk about every day, what we talk about in school, what we talk about with our friends. It's the inside jokes that we have. It's the shirts that we wear. It's the bumper stickers that are on our cars. So even if we're not interested in a film, we want to experience the film so that we can be in on that inside joke. So that it does drastically impact the popularity. There's very few people that will come into school and make a joke about a book that they read. However, they'll come into school and make a joke about a movie that they saw over the weekend, and everybody will have seen the same movie and they'll be able to instantly feel connected. So number 4, they also offer an escape from reality. So like most entertaining mediums, you can plug in for 2 hours and forget your life and the problems. So there is that escape. And then finally, they're entertaining. They keep us engaged for a couple hours. So those are the 5 reasons that films are popular. Now, why do people make films? It's very simple. Films communicate. Storytellers have stories that they want to tell. They want to talk about love. They want to talk about desperation or sadness or honor or fear or innocence, regret, joy, triumph. They want to talk about these human experiences. And in order to do so, they'll make a film. So they will communicate their message about these essential emotions. So when it comes down to it, why do we make films? Because we need to communicate. Now, the critical viewer is going to ask 3 questions. There are 3 essential questions that the critical viewer needs to ask themselves. What do I see? What do I hear? And what do I feel? Oftentimes, people try to complicate their analysis of film, but the reality is it comes down to these 3 questions. If you're able to be conscious and pay attention to what it is that you're actually seeing, in conjunction to what it is that you're actually hearing, and be able to recognize and analyze how do those 2 things work together to make you feel what you're feeling, then you will be a critical viewer. So let's watch this next clip. It's from The Natural, and they do a really great job of giving us interesting things to look at, interesting things to hear, and then generating an emotion for us, a very specific emotion.
Let's play ball.
Out of here,
So after watching that video, you want to ask yourself, what was it that I saw? So what were the actual physical things, the items that were placed on the screen, the angles that the images were shot, the actors, the characters, the composition of the scene? What was it that I saw? Then you want to ask yourself, what did I hear? Was it music? Were it sound effects? Was it dialogue? And then you want to ask, how did these two combine together to make me feel a certain emotion? So you want to ask yourself, what was I feeling while I was watching that? And what was it about what I was seeing and hearing that made me feel that way? So that's how a critical viewer would assess that sequence. So the other thing is there's three functions of film. So three main reasons why we generate film. We generate film to entertain, to teach, and to inform. So entertainment is obviously the most popular type of film, as it can be thought-provoking or meaningless, but nonetheless we enjoy it and we engage in it. In addition, we use film to teach. Educational films produced for business and schools with the intention to persuade, educate, and teach. And as you become more 21st century learners, you're going to find that film will be utilized more to help you teach. And then we also utilize film to inform. It's made with the intention of making audiences aware of ideas and relationships that exist between items. So there's three main functions of film. Now, one thing you need to understand is that movies are big business. Films are primarily made for the 12 to 17 demographic, and that's going to be a huge thing that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about this as the Oscars approach. Why is it certain films haven't been nominated for Oscars? A lot of that has to do with the demographic that they were geared towards. They are geared towards you guys because you go to the films, you go to the movies. They make money in numerous ways: box office gross, overseas earnings, digital streaming, DVD sales. People still buy DVDs, licensing and merchandising. Those are the the toys you get in your Happy Meals, or the character sheets that you slept in at night when you were a kid. And then also cable and network will still spend money on film. So that's the introduction to our film unit. If you have any questions, please let me know.